Hey everybody, time to crack open another bottle. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today here on Blind Whiskey Reviews, the most honest reviews on YouTube. If you aren't already, definitely hit that subscribe button down below so that way you'll know every time I'm putting up a new review and every time I'm starting a new live stream. Today I'm bringing you a review of a whiskey that I have never tried before. This is Heaven's Door. This is their straight rye whiskey finished in, I'm going to butcher this, in Vosages oak barrels. They're French oak barrels. Don't ask me how that's really pronounced. I couldn't tell you. So anyways, this is Heaven's Door. This is the company that was started, or at least is aligned with Bob Dylan. All their bottles are kind of adorned with, he makes large wrought iron gates, and all the bottles are adorned with one of the gates that he's made. So pretty kind of a cool concept. I don't know how I feel about Bob Dylan putting out whiskey, but whatever, it's a cool idea. They're attaching to a celebrity, but I really like the branding. I like the package. It's a nice presentation, nice bottle. So I think that part of it's cool. I have reviewed one of their whiskeys before. I'll link that up here if you guys want to check that out. I reviewed their bourbon, and it was actually quite good. And I think I gave it a pretty high score. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I think I gave it a pretty high score. I was really impressed with it. It had a good amount of flavor, some nice quality to it. They're obviously sourcing their whiskey. They are not making this whiskey. I know it's being packaged in Tennessee, but they're not being very clear about where they're sourcing it from. But the bourbon was good. They also did send me, and this was provided by this distillery, by the way, or by the company. They're not distilling. But this is provided by the company, as was the samples that they sent me. And they also sent me a sample of their American whiskey. I didn't get the opportunity to try that, though, because the sample leaked when they shipped it, and there was just nothing left in the bottle. So luckily, these bottles still made it to me with the sample and this bottle. So thank you very much to Heaven's Door for providing this. And I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to be seeing a lot more of these smaller companies' whiskeys coming up in these no time like the present reviews. I've been sent a lot of stuff over the last couple years, and because of the way I was doing my blind reviews before, where they were completely random as to how I selected the whiskey, a lot of it I never got to, and I got tired of it. And one of the reasons I started cracking these bottles on the channel was that so I could select the whiskeys that I wanted to open. And I really want to open these whiskeys that people sent me because I feel like you sent it to me in good faith. I need to get to it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of these lately. So keep your eyes out for some up and coming whiskeys that maybe you haven't heard of, or maybe smaller distilleries that are up and coming, so we can kind of look at their whiskey and see how they're doing. We're going to be doing quite a few of these coming up in the next few months. So without further ado, let's crack this bottle open. Like I said, I've never tried this whiskey before. I've heard good things about their brand. I had their bourbon, and which was good. So hopefully this one will be good as well. I don't remember what price point this comes in. I know it wasn't incredibly cheap. I feel like it was maybe like in the $60 to $70 price point. Let's get this pop. Tight cork. Not a great pop for a tight cork. So we got a synthetic cork, which I'm not mad at. So far, so good. Definitely has some rye characters coming right at you. Pour ourselves a little bit of whiskey. Put the cork back in there. So yeah, I don't think this is an incredibly inexpensive whiskey, but as you guys know, rye whiskey is generally not inexpensive, especially if it has any age on it. Color-wise, this is kind of a medium light amber color. So that's not really helping us with the age. Not that color ever really does. You got some definitive rye notes right off the top, and we definitely got some of that rye spice, light fruits, a little bit of a floral character. I feel like I'm picking up a little bit of that dill character, perhaps. Some people like the dill, some people don't. I don't mind it in small quantities, but when it's really overwhelming, I definitely don't want it there. Nice sweet characters to it too, so it smells pretty decent. Not erupting with complexity, but some nice notes there that smell pretty decent together, pretty well balanced on the nose. But let's get into what really matters, the taste. Cheers. All right, at first taste, it's not overwhelming the senses. Doesn't feel very high proof. I didn't really look at the proof actually. This is 46%, so 92 proof. So it's a lower proof offering. They got a little bit of information on the side here. Their straight rye whiskey is finished in toasted French oak barrels that are air dried in the low-lying mountain region of Vosges, France. I know I butchered that again. They're saying it results in a smoother, more refined rye, which who knows how true that is. But we'll give it the opportunity. It is smooth, but it's not. There's not a lot of flavor coming off of it just yet in terms of complexity. So let's get another taste here. Okay, a little bit more flavors here. Definitely up front, you got those like light apple characters. A little bit of a floral quality. As it's kind of coming to the mid palate, you're getting a little bit of a citrus kick. A little vanilla. Definitely those spicy rye characters. Maybe, like I said, the slightest hint of a dill character. Yeah, not a bad whiskey, just not a lot going on quite yet. So we got a few decent, I mean, what's here is nice. It's very easy drinking, easy over the palate. Nothing is offensive. Some nice flavors, just not, for me, not enough of them. I could use a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more oomph behind those flavors right now. But it maybe just needs the opportunity to open up. So as we always do in these reviews, we just cracked this bottle open. You saw me rip the seal off the cap. So we are going to give this the opportunity to open up a little bit and see if maybe it'll just give us some hints as to how this whiskey is going to develop with a little bit of airtime. So we will be doing a blind review of this whiskey down the line, but I just want to give you some indications of what direction this whiskey might be heading in with a little bit of airtime. So we'll give it those 20-30 minutes. We'll be back with my notes. All right, so this whiskey's been in the glass for about 25 minutes. Hopefully the airtime has done it a little bit of good. Like I said, it was slightly underwhelming before. So let's see what this whiskey is doing now. Very similar nose. I mean, we've got a lot of that light fruit, rye spice, green apple, a little bit of vanilla sweetness. I'm just not sure what that French oak is doing to it. I can't really pick that out just yet, but let's get to the taste. Okay, maybe the airtime did it a little bit of good. I'm picking up a little bit more depth there. I'm finding a little bit of deeper characters. This whiskey doesn't taste like it's incredibly young. I'm not picking up like those really grassy young notes on it, but it's just been staying on the lighter side. On this taste, I'm getting a little bit of depth. Maybe a slight hint of like a light caramel, something deeper and darker kind of towards the middle of the palate. Yeah, that's still there. There is the very slightest hint of dill. Don't get me wrong, it's not overwhelming. It's just kind of like a background character that's blended in. Just a little bit of that black pepper on the back. Like I said, I think this whiskey for me right now is just lacking a little bit in complexity, and it has gotten better since our initial pour. So I have high hopes that a little bit more airtime may help it open up a touch, bring some more of those characters to the forefront, and let us kind of have a little bit better experience here. But for right now, it's not really knocking my socks off. It's perfectly decent, drinkable whiskey, but I really want to see what it does when it opens up, because I'm not loving it right now for what I think that this price point is. All right, so I just checked into the price. This whiskey is going for Total Wine for about $75. So it is definitely not a cheap bottle of whiskey. And at that price point, this whiskey just isn't living up to that for me. There's a lot of really good rye whiskey out there available at that price point. You know, you can get, you know, the 10-year Whistle Pig single barrel store picks at barrel proof for that price or less, and some of those can be really fantastic. So for me, at the 92 proof point with the lack of complexity that I'm experiencing right now, I'd have a hard time telling you it's worth it. But like I said, I do have high hopes that some airtime is going to help this whiskey. So we will definitely be waiting a few weeks, drain a little bit more whiskey out of the bottle, waiting a few weeks to give it some airtime, pouring it into a sample bottle so we can get to a blind review down the line and give you guys my unbiased opinion about Heaven's Door straight rye whiskey. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Hopefully it comes up in the near future. If you've had the opportunity to try this whiskey, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Like I said, right now I'm underwhelmed, but I have some hopes that it's going to get better. So let me know what your experience with this whiskey has been if you've had the opportunity to try it. As always, you can hit me on Instagram and Twitter at blind_reviews. You can catch me on Mission Bottle Kill on Instagram, where I'm posting all kinds of pictures of people killing great bottles of whiskey. So if you want me to repost your pic, just tag at Mission Bottle Kill in your post. You can also send me an email at blindwhiskeyreviews@gmail.com. And until next time, cheers.